Welcome back to the Nerd Dose podcast, where you get your daily dose of nerd content. Join us today as we cover some of the latest movies, TV shows, and movie news. I'm your host, Zach, and I am joined by Kyle today.
We are back.
Yes, we're back.
It's been, a month hiatus?
Yeah, dude. It's been a busy month.
Yeah, we've been busy. I've had my rotation for school, and you were working, and I went on vacation after my thing, and yeah, stuff happened, but...
Yeah, even I went on my rotation as well. Why don't you tell the audience, where'd you go on vacation, Kyle?
I went to Virginia Beach.
Fun.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people even have been there before. I think it's a really nice place. Nice, cool beaches. Our hotel had like a really cool ocean view. We were at the penthouse level, so...
oh, really?
Yeah, we got a really good deal on a hotel, and because the hotel we stayed at literally opened for like 2 weeks, and
wow,
it was that fresh. So really high view, seeing the ocean, waking up to see the sunrise over the ocean and stuff. Yeah, it was much needed after school and work and stuff like that. So yeah, then went to an amusement park, rode some rides. First time riding a roller coaster in forever because I'm actually scared of roller coasters. So yeah, it was a much needed vacation I needed.
Sounds like you had a great time. I've been just working. I did my rotation like I mentioned earlier, and I got sick last week, so that's been fun. But I've been itching for a podcast, Kyle.
I know.
So much shit has come out. Like, we got Stranger Things, we got Obi-Wan Kenobi, we got Miss Marvel, we have Thor: Love and Thunder. Like,
just so
we're
much
gonna be
stuff.
banging these episodes out within the next couple weeks. I did an Instagram live with our friends from Lights Camera Rant and Mark My Words. So that was fun. Kyle was working during that. He wasn't able to make it.
Yeah.
But he would definitely be making the next one. And
for sure.
We have planned collaborations coming up here in the next couple weeks. So we're coming full blazing. You know, we took this long little hiatus, but we're back. We're coming full speed ahead.
Yeah, we'll be back into rhythm of things soon. So can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, and now you'll be moving next to me in like the next 2 weeks or so. So then we'll for sure be on it with our episodes.
I know. Hopefully our work schedules don't get screwed up with each other. Especially mine, because
I know,
work
right?
sucks for me, so gotta love it.
Definitely. But you've been watching a lot of TV, is that right, Kyle?
Of course. So I know you and our friends at Lights Camera Rant and Mark My Words have been telling me to watch The Boys. So I recently started binging the whole 3 seasons of The Boys within the past month or so. And
so good.
It's I just finished watching season 3 episode 6 Hero-gasm episode, and yeah. I'm like,
what an episode to drop off of.
What the I'm still like, once I finished that episode I had to take a second to compile my thoughts and stuff, because I was like, what the hell happened? The whole orgy thing, and then everything else happening during that episode, and that whole show in general also. I had a feeling with this show being that type of superhero darker themes with it, it really changed my way of how superheroes can think, especially since we've been so thought provoked with Marvel and even DC. Seeing that different change in it gives you there's so much more to what superheroes can do in general, and you can manipulate it to look good or look bad, and The Boys was able to really accomplish it, and I'm excited to finish the next couple episodes of this season.
Have you been loving it?
Oh, I've loved it so very yeah.
Oh, sweet. Okay, good. God bless. Yeah, I started that show right when it came out to you 4 years ago, I believe.
Think so, yeah.
Yeah, and this was when they just dropped all of their episodes off of Amazon Prime, and then season 2 and season 3 have been a weekly basis. But yeah, the show's bloody amazing. It's so good. I love every aspect of it, and possibly a future episode to record on now that you're caught up. I've been telling you for months you need to watch it.
I know.
It's so good. Especially this season. This season has been the best one yet, in my opinion.
No, after comparing what's happened in season 1 and season 2, obviously those had their big impacts, but season 3 has been very intense. Even from the first episode of season 3, seeing termite go up someone's thing, and then
Yeah, we all know. We all know.
Yeah, I'm like, what the hell? And I remember that was a whole thing with Ant-Man and doing that to Thanos. There was a whole meme about it, and it actually came true.
I know, it was hilarious.
I know.
But you also went to the movies as well. You saw Lightyear?
Yeah, I saw Lightyear about, what, 2 or 3 weeks ago, whenever it came out. I think mid-July, mid-June or something.
And you liked it, right?
Yeah, I liked it it was pretty good. It was a really cool origin story, because I loved the whole Toy Story series in general. Watched it every time they came out. The third one, obviously my favorite, because I cried a lot in that, and the whole impact with Woody and Buzz and stuff. So it was really cool seeing Buzz Lightyear in that type of aspect, seeing him what he was as a character, and seeing that if I was like Andy, this was the movie that I would have watched to want to love Buzz Lightyear. So I thought it was a really cool way of thinking it. They even said it in like the beginning of the movie that this was this movie about Buzz Lightyear as a toy. So it was really cool, and a lot of weird twists, I guess you'll say, that I didn't expect to occur. But overall, pretty cool kids movie, especially if you watch Toy Story throughout your whole childhood.
Well, that's good to hear, because I know it hasn't been doing the greatest at the box office.
Yeah.
And it being a recent Pixar movie, there's also the discussion of, is Pixar still, like, at its peak, or is it just going downhill from here? Especially when you have movies like, what is it? Luca, that just came out last year. Onward. Those were Pixar movies, but they were nothing compared to, like, most recently, like Soul. Like, Soul blew me out of the water.
Yeah, Soul.
Absolutely loved that movie.
I think Turning Red, I'm not sure if that was under Pixar or not.
Yeah,
but
that was Pixar too. Yeah, just a lot of... Seems like they're pumping out a lot of quantity over quality, so a little bit.
Yeah, I did like Turning Red, though. I'll say that. I mean, there was that big, obviously, Asian influence, but in general, like, I thought the storyline was cool. And also, I guess I can relate to it, especially to how the parents in that movie were to that kid, because it's a lot of, like, familiarity with it, so I guess that's what maybe like it a little bit more. But I know what you're saying, like comparing quality over quantity. Like, there has been a lot of Pixar movies coming out for sure. I
mean, there's two just this year.
Yeah.
You know, Turning Red and Lightyear. So, you know, they're starting to become like Marvel, which is also an discussion topic on whether Marvel is starting to trend down a little bit or not as well.
That's true, yeah.
But we'll get into that a little bit later. A couple things that I've been watching. Of course, I've been watching The Boys. Fuck yeah. I've been watching that weekly. The finale was awesome. Very sad season 3's over. Can't wait for season 4 next year. Yeah, I'm super excited about that. My girlfriend and I have been binge watching Only Murders in the Building. Awesome. Absolutely love it. Fantastic show. Super lighthearted. Lots of fun. It's about a podcast.
Oh,
so
interesting. Isn't that the one with Selena Gomez?
Yep, Selena Gomez, Steve Martin, Martin Short. So they make a great trio, and we have a lot of fun with it. You know, it's still like a little murder mystery. It reminds me a lot of like Knives Out.
Oh, okay.
But a little bit more lighthearted, a lot more jokes. But yeah, it's been fun. We're on season 2 already. Master Chef returned, so we've been watching that weekly. That's been a ton of fun.
I've been watching that also. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh my god. I think
good.
I told you
it's a spicy season.
Yeah, I think I told you when the first episode came out. I think I cried almost from that first episode for some reason.
Yeah, dude. So they brought back. So this season's like a legacy season, and they brought back a lot of contenders from like the most recent seasons. You know, like probably within the last 5 seasons, they brought like most of the cast, and I was very surprised by that because I've only started watching Master Chef since like season 9-ish.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, I haven't been watching it that much, so it was really cool to see players come back that I recognized and that I remembered what their downfall was. So very looking forward to it. I'm very happy they have the team challenges again.
Yeah, and in the mystery boxes.
COVID kind of like put that away, but yeah, it's a ton of fun. I love the show. We're both foodies, so we have a good time with it.
Yeah, dang. I've been watching that since season 3, so I've like recognized all of these like people, and I'm like, oh my god,
you probably recognize all of them.
Oh my god, I've like saw like, oh my god, you're back, and I'm like, and then they lose in the first, like they're not even getting their apron, and I'm like, damn, like
Yeah,
had so much of an impact. But
I know, exactly. It's spicy. I love it.
it is.
So, today we are talking, or we're reviewing Thor: Love and Thunder. And then the Emmy nominations just got dropped this morning, and today is Tuesday. So we're going to discuss a little bit about that before we do our review. But before we get started, go follow us on Instagram, listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Let us know if you have a movie or a TV show you'd like us to review. We're open to anything, and we want to just provide to you guys. We love doing this, and we're going to keep going for you.
We'll hopefully be on schedule.
Yeah, exactly. Weekly schedule's the goal, man. Weekly schedule's the goal.
For sure.
But yeah, as I mentioned before, the Emmy nominations dropped today. And I don't know about you, Kyle, but I have not seen a lot of these shows. So I only pulled up a few of them that we would recognize. And I didn't pull up actors and actresses either. But for like outstanding drama series, we have Euphoria, Squid Game, Stranger Things. Stranger Things, I was a bit surprised to see on there because it's a good show, but I don't know if it's like outstanding drama series of the past year. Outstanding comedy series, we got Barry. I've seen a couple seasons of that. Really good show. Only Murders in the Building. Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso's just constantly blowing it out of the parks with the Emmys over the past couple of years.
Yeah, I'm looking at also. I see Abbott Elementary. That was a pretty good series. I've been watching.
Oh, you've seen that one?
Yeah, I watch a little bit of it. Yeah.
Oh, sweet, Kyle. Yes, bring it in.
Yeah.
I did see Outstanding Lead Actor in a comedy series where both Steve Martin and Martin Short from Only Murders in the Building.
Oh, wow.
But Selena Gomez was not nominated for Outstanding Lead Actress. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then Outstanding Limited Series, we got Dope Sick, which you've seen.
Yeah, Dope Sick was really cool.
I didn't know that was a limited series. I thought that was going to go on to a season 2.
No, I think it's Dope Sick. From what I can recall, it was actually a true story. It's about the whole. I think it's about the whole oxycodone epidemic, and especially as like going into pharmacy and drugs. I think you should watch that show. I'm not sure if you watched it yet.
I definitely want to.
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it's
definitely
awesome.
looks interesting. Definitely relates to us quite a bit.
For sure, yeah. You should really watch it, especially with the cast that's in it. It's insane.
Michael Keaton, baby.
Yeah, exactly.
And then Disney Plus kind of blew it out of the park with their Marvel shows. 6 Emmy nominations for Loki, 8 Emmy nominations for Moon Knight, 2 Emmy nominations for Hawkeye, and then 3 Emmy nominations for What If, which is pretty cool.
I'm assuming one is like for animation, I guess, or
yeah, most of these nominations are pertaining to a lot of like set design, costumes, music, a lot of behind the scenes kind of production wise. But I think that's really cool. I'm kind of happy to see Moon Knight get such a lot of recognition.
I know. I'm surprised 8 in total. That's insane.
Yeah, Moon Knight did a really good job. And then What If, people, I think for the most part, people didn't really like What If. So to see that kind of come back in like certain aspects of animation, I like that. Yeah. Very top notch.
Yeah, might as well get something. I mean, they did a lot of work, especially with the storylines and having each episode be its own like show essentially, or its own episode. It deserves some of credit at least.
Definitely. And I did forget a small announcement, but Kyle and I, along with Lee and Mark from Mark My Words, are doing a big collaboration episode within the next month or so. We will be discussing Phase 4 of the MCU. So, and this is going to be following the events of Comic-Con San Diego. So Kevin Feige's going to be making his announcements. We are going to have a lot to discuss, and we're very, very excited. This episode has been in the works for the last like 3-4 weeks. So
we'll get there.
We'll get there. Yeah, exactly. But we're very excited. But yeah, do you have anything else you might want to mention from the Emmys?
That was
just a small summary.
Yeah, I was just looking at like competition shows. I see Amazing Race is on it. Nailed it. RuPaul's Drag Race. Surprised not. MasterChef. Survivor's on it also. I don't see Survivor on here either.
Ooh, Survivor's always nominated as well.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah,
weird.
MasterChef I've seen nominated in the past as well.
Yeah, no, it's only those. Not even, it's Top Chef instead of MasterChef.
I love The Amazing Race, so all for it.
Amazing Race is good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just skimming through all the nominations. I see a lot of shows I never seen, like The White Lotus. Ted Lasso has been pretty popular also. So,
Dude, Ted Lasso always wipes the floor at the Emmys. Like last year, he dominated. So I need to watch this show. It's on Apple Plus, which kind of is a pain in the butt, but I heard nothing but good things from the show.
Yeah, because I think it talks about like how Ted Lasso's like experiences, and there was even one episode where he had like some anxiety attack, and it kind of expressed that, and a lot of people really love that scene. So
yeah, because it really hit home for people. Like they're like, this is exactly what I feel during an anxiety attack displayed on camera. So I heard that. Yeah, I've seen a little bit of that as well. So it looks like a good show. I should watch it.
Yeah, I'll probably look. I'll look into it one day. I think I just saw the trailer of that show when it first came out, but maybe. But I don't have to. I have to get the thing though. I don't want to pay for another subscription.
It kind of stinks. I know. Add it to the 5 that we have.
I know. My God, don't remind me.
Yeah, jumping over to the Marvel Universe. You know, we love it so much. Thor: Love and Thunder just came out. What was it? Last Friday.
Last Friday. Yep. Last Friday the 8th.
Yep. Directed by Taika Waititi, starring Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, Tessa Thompson, and Taika Waititi himself playing Korg. And then we got Zeus, Russell Crowe. So quite the cast, a lot of familiar faces, and this movie pretty much introduced the whole aspect of Mighty Thor. In the comics, Jane Foster becomes Thor. You know, she has cancer, and kind of when is in command of Mjolnir, it kind of heals her a bit. I was very curious if they were going to adopt that storyline in this movie, and they ended up doing it. I was very surprised by that, actually.
Yeah, I never thought seeing Mighty Thor being introduced in the series, but I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. My only thing that I thought was interesting was because I know back way after the release of Thor: The Dark World, there was that whole Natalie Portman drama where she didn't want to continue on with Marvel. So, and I think when did Dark World come out? Like 2013 or so?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, do you know about that at all? I just thought she had a lot of hate towards her.
I think from what I was trying to research before recording, all I read was that she just felt unhappy with being that character in Thor. I could be wrong, but that's what I've been trying to gather. But it's just surprising now that she's coming back just for this role. Because even when she was in Avengers Endgame, like she was in the movie, but they actually reused some of the scenes from Thor: The Dark World. Yeah,
old footage.
So, but I've also been hearing rumors that, you know, I mean, I'm kind of jumping ahead, that Natalie Portman might continue on again with Marvel, especially with her the whole post-credit scene where she's in Valhalla. That's another thing where she could be changed into another character that's from Valhalla and maybe be a potential series in the future. I'm not sure if it's going to continue on. So
I'm going to stop you right there. Of course, we're talking spoilers.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen Thor Ragnarok,
go
watch it. Come back to our review. You know, we always do with spoilers. But yeah, I'm kind of surprised that she mentioned that she would continue working with Marvel, because I'm pretty sure the only reason she ever came back was because Taika Waititi convinced her.
Yeah, I think that was a big influence for sure.
Which makes sense. You know, I think most actors and actresses would love working with him. He has such this unique style and comedy and just tone to his movies that has been just very successful to the audience's eyes, especially with Thor Ragnarok, pretty much his biggest takeoff.
Yeah, it was his big like success story essentially, because I know everyone because especially since Thor: The Dark World did not do so hot, and then now that they switched directors with Taika Waititi directing Ragnarok, I think it was able to give Marvel a change of theme to what directors can do with Marvel movies.
Yep, exactly. And I think he's done so many movies afterwards, or I think he's done a few actually, like Jojo Rabbit was a big one. That got a lot of Oscar nominations, and I think he even might have won for one of them, I believe. Don't quote me on that. But he also did like What We Do in the Shadows. That was a movie, and then that got turned into a TV show once Thor Ragnarok was released. And I believe he's doing another TV show that's based on like pirates. So he's definitely got, and then he's got a Star Wars movie coming up as well. So he's definitely has gotten a lot of opportunities since Thor Ragnarok, I would say. But I completely forgot, Thor is battling the biggest villain yet. Gore, the God Butcher, played by Christian Bale, coming back. He said he would never do a superhero movie again either. And
really?
Here he is.
Interesting.
Yep, Taika brought him back as well.
Wow. He was a big influence also to make him come back for movies, I guess. Interesting.
Taika's got a lot of pull.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I don't know if you heard the story, but Natalie Portman went up to him on one of the last days of shooting and was asking what movie can we do next together? And he asked her, have you ever been in a Star Wars movie?
I've heard about this. Yeah, I've heard this story. I think I read it on Instagram or something, and obviously Natalie
she just stares blankly at him.
And I'm like, yeah, because obviously Natalie Portman was in the prequels of the Star Wars movies, so she cannot come back, obviously.
Yeah, I know. That was so funny. Initial thoughts, Kyle. Did you like the movie? Did you think it was okay? Start us off.
Initial thoughts. I thought it was a really good movie. Was able to introduce Thor, especially seeing the aftermath of Endgame. Just seeing that change of pace, because we haven't really touched Thor ever or looked at Thor ever since. So it was a nice change of pace after being introduced with so many of the newer characters we've had with shows and movies. Miss Marvel, we've had Hawkeye, we've had Doctor Strange and all that. So, and Thor is pretty cool. I like Thor pretty much a lot, especially ever since I first watched his first movie. Just seeing his growth throughout the whole MCU, throughout his MCU career, I guess. A lot of improvement and a lot of development for his character. In terms of the movie itself, I thought it was really cool. Loved the music, loved some of the scenes, especially with the fighting and all that. It's just hard to compare it with his previous movie, do I like it better? Do I like it the same? That's my only debate, since it was directed again by Taika Waititi, so it's literally the same exact directing style.
Oddly enough, Thor Ragnarok was not written by Taika Waititi, but directed.
Yeah.
But this movie, Love and Thunder, was written and directed by Taika Waititi, and I think you got to definitely see that aspect compared to Ragnarok. Definitely he went balls to the wall with his creativity. He got weird with it, the screaming goats. who would have thought that was going to ever be in a Marvel movie, And he even said, he has quoted that he was inspired by the stupid Taylor Swift meme.
Oh my God, yeah.
Of her songs. So I think that's so funny that he just threw that in. But yeah, overall, I kind of think this movie was okay. I enjoyed a lot of aspects of it, and there was a lot of aspects I didn't really like that much. The movie was short. It did feel like everything was rushed. I mean, you look at Gore the God Butcher, but we only see him kill one god.
I know.
I feel like that should have been fleshed out more. Christian Bale stole the show, though. He did an amazing job, especially that scene with him in the Shadow Realm. Amazing acting, and I absolutely loved his character. I wish we got to see that fleshed out more. I even loved Natalie Portman. I loved Jane Foster in this movie. She kind of was a redemption as well. I think how she was used in Darkwood was very MacGuffin-like. She was just kind of there, just like a damsel in distress kind of role.
That's true,
and
yeah.
I didn't really like that. So we got to see complete opposite. We got to see a kick-ass. And I wish we got to see more. I was a little sad that she died, because I just wanted to see more with her character. Not so much that I wanted to see the Thor storyline carried on through a different character, but just I wanted to see more of her, because I thought she brought a lot to this movie. But yeah, I felt like just so much comedy, and I think Taika has mentioned that it comes off more as a comedy than it does like an actual action and adventure kind of movie. But it doesn't really take itself seriously in any kind of moment. I mean, anytime, it doesn't feel like the stakes are high whatsoever. Anytime something serious happens, it's immediately followed up with a joke.
Yeah.
And some of the jokes land, some of the jokes do not. I mean, I could bet you half the audience did not like the Screaming Goats.
Yeah.
But me and you, we loved them. We thought they were hilarious.
I thought the Screaming Goats were there for comedic relief also. There was some kind of serious moment, and then after that, they're leaving, and then the Screaming Goats there.
I thought they were hilarious, because every time they screamed, there was a different scream.
Literally, yeah.
And every time they popped up. It was like every like 10 or 20 minutes. So you're like, oh yeah, they still exist.
Yeah.
So it was just a funny thing to keep bringing back.
Because the screaming goats were just like a gift to Thor, right? For saving,
Yeah, exactly.
from like saving that city and Sir for whatever it's called in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I think the opening scenes was the strongest of this movie. You know, we got to see Thor with the Guardians, so that brought up a little bit of memories, even though the Guardians weren't in it that much. But I thought a lot of the jokes landed the most at the very beginning. But then after that scene, it took a little bit to build up into the story.
Yeah.
I love the scene where he's just like riding on Stormbreaker and on a broomstick.
Oh yeah, like where like a witch rides a broom and stuff. Like what the heck?
Exactly. Or where he catches the two ships while he's doing the splits. So it just
I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm like, what the hell is going on? Because like
stuff like that was so funny.
it's silly because you never like. I'm trying to think. Thor like in the older movies was not that like kind of goofy. You know, he was more serious, but now you see Thor kind of like loose-ended and kind of chill, doing like you said, like the whole splits or riding Stormbreaker as a broomstick, as a witch. Like he's been more relaxed as a character. And do you like? What do you think? Do you like that better for Thor?
Yeah, I love this so much better, and I think most of that was because of Taika Waititi and what he did in Ragnarok. You know, that transitioned. Right off the back in Ragnarok, he was cracking jokes.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But like, and then we got to see that fleshed out more into like Endgame and Infinity War. This just seemed like just a little bit too much with the comedy to the point where it's starting to become slightly silly.
Would you prefer it if it was a little bit more serious or more like action adventure?
I think serious. I would go with that one because you got Gore the God Butcher.
Yeah.
I mean, he was kind of freaky in some scenes when he was like talking to all three of them individually, like
cringing.
like yeah, cringing. Yeah, but the suspense was there. Like it was just he did a great job. Christian Bale did, but then it just quickly went away.
Yeah, because I feel like we didn't even get a lot of Gore. Like what I thought was gonna happen in the movie was when they were in that omnipotent city with Zeus, I thought he was gonna be there and like kill all the gods.
I thought for sure he was gonna invade that
city. I was like, if that happened, that would have like made it one of my favorite movies, or some part of that scene at least be one of my favorites throughout this whole movies. Like that would have been perfect.
Yeah, it would have been similar to how Hela just killed like all of Asgard.
Yeah.
You know, you just got to see like the stakes were just so much higher than what you thought, you know. If he killed Zeus himself, like you'd be like, oh, mouth drop. Like, did he really just do this?
Yeah, I never expected freaking Thor to kill Zeus either. Or
I know, neither did I.
Yeah.
Poor Korg.
I know. Like, he just crumbled into his rock. At least his face was saved, but...
I know. And then he grew back. Oh my god, that one scene where... That one scene at the very end where Korg makes a baby.
Oh yeah,
with another, I can't remember, another person from his species named Dwayne the Rock.
Oh, is that what they said? I didn't realize that. Shoot.
Oh my god, that was so funny. But something like a dumpling god. I thought that was
I thought it was funny.
I was like, what the hell is this doing in here?
I thought it was cute. No,
you thought it was funny?
Yeah,
oh,
I liked
gosh.
it. I mean, it was just a cool cameo. You know, what can you do?
Well, Lee also pointed out, because during our Instagram live we talked about Thor, he also pointed out that Korg's god was sitting on a throne of scissors.
Oh, really?
Rock, paper scissors.
You're kidding me.
Nope. So I think that was also a funny thing that I didn't pick up on. But I cracked my ass off when we saw like Thor's tattoos on his back with like Loki with the heart broken, and I just like they did have a lot of great jokes, but then some of them like one joke that didn't land with me is like when Valkyrie pulled out a Bluetooth speaker and was just like,
oh yeah, that thing. It was playing like some Mary J. Blige song.
Yeah, and then Jane was like bopping her head too. So
I guess that was like for the comedic relief also. Like
exactly, like we don't need that.
Yeah,
don't need that much. I just wish, and I really liked I did like the cancer storyline quite a bit. You know, I thought it was pressed out quite a bit, but I just wish we got to see more of it. You know, I wanted to see her going back and forth between Mjolnir and
her regular
Jane. Yeah, and how big of an impact cancer has on it. We definitely got to see that, but I just like a little bit more would have helped.
I'm just trying to think, like, what else would you want to see, though? I mean, I feel like I've seen enough with her seeing that, Mjolnir is helping her, but it's also killing her at the same time from what Thor told her. Just seeing the big change that Mjolnir does help, but it has its consequences. So
I guess I'm leaning more towards the scene where we actually see her go back to normal and kind of see her struggling between like what to do, like stay with cancer or like continue on. And then of course she makes the decision that like, I'm going to go save Thor. You know what's kind of interesting is that like a lot of people are saying this movie felt a little rushed, and it's 2 hours, which Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness was also 2 hours. So a lot of people are wondering why the MCU has been adjusting to that. I wouldn't say formula, but adjusting to that time length.
going shorter.
And and it doesn't hurt the film at all. Like, well,
a little bit.
in these films it did. Yeah, in these films it definitely did. But look at a movie like Guardians of the Galaxy. That's a 2 hour long movie. Does not feel like it. Feels like everything is like fleshed out perfectly and does not feel rushed whatsoever.
I think it's just the writing in general.
Definitely the writing. Too much to handle. In this movie, you got Thor. He's stuck. You have one side plot of him like not knowing what to do with his life, and then you have the other side plot of love and that kind of took over that side plot, and then that side plot got rebrought back at the very end with his new adopted daughter.
I guess it was a lot of like things that were coming from different angles, like you said, Thor trying to figure out himself. You see Jane Foster coming back as Mighty Thor and trying to see if she wants to continue on, but yet it's killing her at the same time with Mjolnir. And then you have Gore coming in, being the God Butcher, yet only kills one or two gods essentially throughout this movie with the Necro Sword. And then you probably have a little bit of scenes with Korg and Valkyrie coming in also, but trying to incorporate all of that. And yet they only shortened it to like that 2 hour time frame. Do you think if they elongated it to the normal like 2 hours 30 minutes, for example, do you think it would have been a little bit better?
Yeah, I think if we had like a 15 minutes worth of like gore a little bit longer, I think it would have been awesome.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah, just especially with Gore, because I know we got a good introduction at the beginning of the movie, but just
fantastic.
It was really cool. Never expected that also from Marvel to do that at the beginning for that show, but just throughout I just didn't see a lot of learning more about who Gore was as a person. It was mainly focused on obviously Jane. That was the main focus throughout the whole movie.
And his motives, like, of course they were clear. He wanted all the gods dead, but I couldn't tell if that was because of his own personal vendetta or like the Necro Sword taking over, or I'm assuming it was just a blend of both. But it was just a little, I wouldn't say confusing, but just not as clear as I thought it would have been.
Not consistent.
Not consistent. Because in the comics, it did open up very similar to Gore's origin. His family died, crossing a desert, he has no help, and then two gods are like fighting. One of the gods asks for his help, and he says, why would I help you? You never helped me. And then he killed him.
Yeah.
Like then and there. So I think that was really cool to see that aspect is a little bit changed up in this movie, and we actually got to see it like on Christian Bale's face, his facial expressions like switching from like worshiping to like, I hate you, I want you to die.
Yeah, like the betrayal you see from the gods, thinking that gods are supposed to be there to save the mortals, yet they're just there to play like sacrifice or just play like the Sims, essentially just using humans as like toys. Just seeing that change, it was, that's a big impact.
Yeah, and I think the Necro Sword was interesting as well, because it actually is, in the comics, is pertaining to symbiotes.
Oh, okay.
The original symbiote, or the king, I believe, Null, is the wielder of the Necro Sword, and what gives Gore the powers is based on the symbiote.
Oh, okay.
So I think there was a little bit areas they had to change because that's not incorporated into the MCU, and I thought they did a pretty good job at that. What did you think of like the shadows, like the shadow creatures?
The shadow creatures, they were pretty cool. I mean, you didn't really see a big impact with them, like CGI wise. You just kind of see them and then they die from like everyone killing them. How they are introduced is really cool. Obviously, they just come from shadows, like, but they can only fight in the dark, obviously. So
yeah. So what's the deal with kidnapping children? Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was just so silly.
that was weird to me because it kind of reminded me of like, shoot, there was like a character from another movie I'm trying to think of, or like in general, you're just kidnapping kids only. Is it? I'm thinking in Gore's head, it's because his kid died, so she wants to keep the other kids and stuff like that. You know, the kids are cool. Yeah, that's this big stretch, but like,
I think it was funny that he gave the kids powers at the end. He's like, temporarily give you the powers.
Yeah, using Zeus's Thunderbolt.
They all went ape shit with the bunny. I think that was just so funny.
Yeah, it was really cutesy. I like that for sure, and it was cool showing like showing kids, especially Asgardian kids. You know, they were scared because they have obviously people, their parents who are Asgardian, who are probably warriors or fighters, and just seeing them being scared at first and then seeing like, oh, Thor was able to influence them. They were able to fight all of those people. Correlating how this is kind of similar with all the other movies in the past. You see Doctor Strange helping America, a kid. You see Hawkeye helping Kate Bishop, another kid. You know, it's just a lot of parallels from previous shows and movies being kind of portrayed again in this movie. That kind of similar theme, you know. I just think it's really cool using that. It's cool, but also kind of repeating itself at the same time with that.
Yeah, you could tell they're not shifting, but they're trying to aim for a more younger audience. I mean, look at Miss Marvel. I mean, that's definitely aimed at the younger audience as well. Did you like the new Asgard? I thought that was funny. The infinity cones.
Yeah, it was literally. I mean, it's literally like an amusement park, or like.
I know, I love it.
Like you go on a cruise because you saw like the cruise ships in the background of New Asgard. And it's the same thing when people go on cruises to like Mexico. You know, they stop at a city and then they do all the attractions. Like there was a tour of Asgard or something, and then like you said, all the shops to eat at, like the infinity cones or whatever. And you know, it was really cutesy. I'll say that.
I like the return of Matt Damon as Loki. Same with Luke Hemsworth, which is Chris's older brother, and Sam Neill, and new addition of Melissa McCarthy as the actress.
I know. I was gonna get to that. I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, oh, good. They had to bring them back because it's obviously a parallel to what happened in Ragnarok, and it's funny. They literally had to keep adding more to it, and it's especially bringing Melissa McCarthy. That was a very interesting.
I think it was so funny. I like the next scene where they're like, "We can do this for the next show." And she, get out of my face.
I know. I love how you can see like when Matt Damon had to like cry, he had to literally bring out a bottle of water and spray his face.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just like, what the hell is going on?
I know. It's just so many funny moments, and I think jokes like that landed really well throughout the movie.
That's good. Yeah, because I was like kind of worried because I had a feeling they were going to do something similar, especially since this is Taika Waititi's style. I thought it was going to be kind of repetitive, but at least it was worked out in the end because obviously it was following the storyline of Ragnarok in that little scene. It was pretty well executed, thankfully.
I guess the biggest question is, do you think this was better than Ragnarok?
That's the big question. That's like my big
I don't
debate.
think so.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I think Ragnarok had better characters, if I'm being honest.
I can see that. Better characters. You see a lot of development also.
I think I have a lot more fun with Ragnarok, you know. I think there's a lot of comedy in it, but there's also not. It does take itself seriously when the moments it should.
That's true. I was just thinking like how with Ragnarok it was pretty much Thor, the Hulk, and Valkyrie working together. And then in Love and Thunder, you just see Thor, kind of the kids, Jane Foster and Valkyrie and Korg, just trying to see which was a better like team to fight the enemy, you know? Just thinking which was better.
Yeah, it definitely felt like, I think the support, besides, of course, Natalie, Jane Foster, I felt like the supporting characters were fleshed out a lot more in Ragnarok when compared to Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Do you get more supportive characters with Love and Thunder versus in Ragnarok was more Thor focused? Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, so you would agree as well, Ragnarok?
Yeah, it's a big debate. Like
Now, do you think Love and Thunder was better than Multiverse of Madness?
Ooh.
an entire different movie, completely serious, and on the other side of the spectrum of genre is focused on horror.
Yeah, horror versus comedy. That's the thing.
I think I would put Thor: Love and Thunder above Multiverse of Madness. I think there's a lot of aspects of the Multiverse of Madness as well, but they did go bold. At least with Thor: Love and Thunder, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into.
It was safe.
Yeah, definitely.
It was very safe because it was very similar because we already know all the characters. We're just seeing them grow more as throughout the whole movie and show, I guess. Whereas with Multiverse of Madness, it was a completely set of new characters we kind of got introduced to. It was a multiverse, so there's so many like possibilities of where this movie could have gone to. So it was risky versus not risky for those two movies. So I think probably, in my opinion, probably Love and Thunder. It was very safe, and I like safe movies.
It didn't do as well as I thought it would at the box office. We kind of did a little thing on Instagram making a prediction. My prediction was roughly 170 to 200 million, and it did 143 million.
Compared to what did
Multiverse of Madness made 185 million opening weekend domestically. It's just domestically.
So roughly the same.
Good 40 million difference.
40,
That's quite a bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say it underperformed slightly. Yes, it did better than Ragnarok, but I mean, at that point, not a lot of people really cared to see another Thor movie. This time, you had the hype of Ragnarok. You had the hype of Taika Waititi. Why didn't people come to this? I think the critics played a huge aspect. A lot of people did not love this or didn't really like this film that much, and I think a lot of it got kind of bled into the audience a little bit. This is one of the lower Rotten Tomatoes scores, 65%. It's not very good.
Yeah, what kind of sucks is I'm thinking what you had to watch before watching Love and Thunder. Obviously, Ragnarok, the other Thor movies. That's pretty much it. Maybe Endgame, but obviously us fans, we already have watched it. I feel like with Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness, you had to watch a lot more. I feel like.
Oh, you thought so?
I think so.
Yeah, because you had WandaVision. See, the thing with Rotten Tomatoes, yes, I don't really care for Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think you do either. It's only a critic score, which is fine. But
can you really trust critics also?
See, us movie fans, we don't trust critics.
Yeah.
We don't really care about that. But the general audience, they kind of do. Not so much trust them, but they see that score on Rotten Tomatoes and they're like, maybe I will wait a little bit for this movie, or maybe I'll wait till Disney Plus comes on.
Because it was also quick, now that you mentioned Disney Plus. When did Doctor Strange came out in theaters in May? Then
and it released the end of June.
So is it going to be the same thing also with Thor: Love and Thunder? Is it going to be like a month?
Yeah, it'll be on Disney Plus before we go back to school.
Yeah,
guarantee you.
That's my thinking, which is sad, but I feel like that's also the safe route anyways with how this whole movie generation is anyways, because I know back in the day, once the movie released, it took more than 6 months or so for it to come out on DVD or streaming.
Definitely.
So
yeah,
I guess I feel like it's a way from what happened through the pandemic also that shortened streaming or release to stream or release to DVD stuff. So,
and I wonder if the short marketing period also got to them as well. They had.
It's true. Yeah.
It's been the record of having like the shortest marketing period between movies, and I think that might have an aspect of that as well, because look at like the past 2 weeks, it's been nothing but Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
Like it just vamped up insanely. So I don't think enough hype was built about this movie, especially following Multiverse of Madness.
Because I remember I remember we talked about this in a previous podcast or so, where we didn't even get a trailer for Love and Thunder until 3 months until the release date of July. So compared to when we got the trailer for Multiverse of Madness, we got that at the end of Spider-Man No Way Home back in December, and that didn't release till May. So we had 5 months in between for that.
Yeah, and I actually think Love and Thunder was more like less than 2 months.
Yeah, even shorter than.
I felt like it was like right around when Multiverse of Madness came out, like the trailer dropped for that. So it's just, it stinks. And I think a lot of people also might have had a sour taste of the MCU from Multiverse of Madness. You know, us fans, we enjoy Multiverse of Madness, but like the general goers of the MCU, they did not like that movie. They thought it was bad. So like, why waste the ticket to go to the next one 2 months later? You know, so it's definitely interesting. I always like talking about box office because I'm always curious to know what goes up and what goes down. And during our little hiatus, Top Gun has earned $1 billion.
That's insane.
Box office. Fuck. Yeah, I love that so much. First movie of 2022 to raise $1 billion.
Nice.
Let's see if Avatar 2 can do that as well.
I know. Side note, during vacation, I think I sent you this. There were so many F-18s flying above my hotel that I keep hearing.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, it was insane. Cause
I told you to take a picture so we could post about it.
I know, but they're so far away. I have probably one or two. I'll figure it out.
Do you think Marvel's kind of going on a trend of downslope? You know, we have Eternals. Yes, Spider-Man did amazing, but compared to like Black Widow, Eternals, Doctor Strange, Thor: Love and Thunder, I feel like those are kind of like B-tier movies.
Yeah, they're not like high ranked compared to, like you said, Spider-Man, or for me, Shang-Chi. Like, you know, they're just mediocre, I guess.
Yeah.
It's sad to say mediocre.
And it kind of stinks. You feel it. Like, I was just like, it's over with, you know? And I love the MCU, but like to feel that way just kind of stunk.
Yeah, it's because I feel like it's because of what we've had from the phase 3 with the whole, you know, we got introduced to all of those characters throughout that past, 10, 15 years or so, beginning with Iron Man. It's just this whole new phase of whole new characters that we have to get introduced to, or we already know what these characters have done. They're just trying to change their path, especially with Thor, again, for example. You know, it's such a big change, and I can tell some people are not liking it, some are kind of liking it, and I feel like it's what this whole phase 4 is going through. It's sad and hard to say what to do. So I know I think we said it earlier with Kevin Feige announcing what the rest of Phase 4 is during SDCC for Comic-Con. It's going to be interesting to see what's going to be next, you know.
Definitely. I'm excited. I can't wait. That's like the end of July for me. Like that's like the one thing keeping me going. But yeah, I think it definitely seems like it going on like a very mediocre kind of slope, just kind of going through the motions. Which stinks because we want to be blown out of the water with these movies, but then you're thinking like, oh, like how many movies can be good, you know? Like at some point they're going to start becoming meh. Yeah. And a lot of people are kind of seeing that now. And a lot of people I think there's an interesting debate to go about like directing. Like, you know, obviously Taika Waititi got more rights and control for this movie moving since Ragnarok. And this movie, a lot of people would say is not as great as Ragnarok. And then look at like Doctor Strange, you know, Sam Raimi. We know he had such an impact on that movie for directing wise, but didn't hit so much with a lot of the audience. So I'm wondering if they've given directors too much control, or like should
too much
there be
freedom to direct.
Yeah, or do you think they should like maybe go a little bit stricter?
Because I feel like most of the directors from that whole Phase 3 was kind of like the Russo brothers. Give or take, a couple of them were not, but I feel like most of it was them, and they did a huge impact, obviously, from what they've created.
But you got like Scott Derrickson did Doctor Strange, Watts did Spider-Man, Michael Coogler did Black Panther, and then Russo brothers.
Is that good? Is that bad? Do we like how they did compared to what the directors are doing now with Phase 4?
The directors have been a little bit more stylish, you know. And so, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm excited to rewatch Thor. Definitely not really going to see it in theaters. I'm excited to rewatch it once it comes to Disney+. But yeah, overall, I had a good time.
Yeah. I liked it. Some of the post-credit scenes, gonna talk a little about that. Hercules coming for some reason. I didn't know that even Hercules was even going to be in this. But I think he told me that, you know, especially with the gods, are obviously going to be in the MCU, so why the hell not?
Yeah, exactly. And everyone's been fan casting it to be Henry Cavill, but I believe it was by a Ted Lasso star named
Alan Goldstein or something like that.
Brett Goldstein.
Yep.
So that was an interesting aspect. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And then we got Valhalla reveal, and then we got a Return of Heimdall, which was pretty cool. Do you think they should make a Thor 5?
I don't think it should be focused on Thor. I think maybe going a side path. Focus maybe on Valkyrie. Focus maybe, like I mentioned earlier, with Valhalla. Because I know that was a thing with the comics. With Heimdall probably helping out, transitioning between real life and Valhalla. I heard that's a thing in the comics. So
I think maybe a team-up movie, a small team-up movie with an Avenger we recognize and familiar with. I think that would be a little bit better, kind of like what they did with Hulk. And it did feel like a team-up movie as well for this movie, but just not as much as Ragnarok. So maybe something along those lines. I don't know, because you see Hercules. I kind of want to see that play out because Hercules and Thor do not get along. But then again, do I want to see another Taika Waititi
directing style movie?
I'm not sure.
I think I've had enough of Taika Waititi in MCU, sadly, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are thinking that as well, which kind of stinks. But this was a lot. This movie, creativity-wise, it was quite a bit more than what we're used to. What would you rate it, Kyle?
I would probably rate it as 7. That's probably my best rating.
I think I'd do like 6.5, 7. I think right around there is pretty accurate for both of us. Like I said, we liked it. We liked aspects of it, but just some things didn't always click as well with us as some others might have for different audiences.
Yeah, it had its ups and downs. I loved the whole directing style, the Shadow Realm scene itself being in black and white. I thought that was really cool.
That was awesome. I love Gore.
Gore as a character, awesome.
Yep, Christian Bale blew us out of the water, just absolutely dominated. Stole the show every scene he was in, and I just wish he was in it more.
Yeah, if there was a scene where he was in the omnipotent city and killed all the gods, that would have rated higher for me.
Fucking crazy.
Right.
Would have been nuts.
I would have loved it. It would have been reminiscent of Wanda killing all the Illuminati.
Yeah, exactly. Illuminati, 100%. So, thanks for listening, guys. We truly appreciate it. Give us your thoughts on Thor: Love and Thunder. Did you like it? Did you not? We'd love to hear from you. Maybe debate a little bit if you're up for it.
Do you agree with us? Disagree with us?
Yeah, exactly. We want to hear from you guys. Until then, stay tuned. We have a bunch of collaboration episodes coming up within the next month or so. So yeah, we're very excited about that. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.